This is my week 4 assignment of landscape changes. The global landscape versus climate change. I chose two categories: erosions of coastlines, droughts, and floods. For the erosion of coastlines, climate change has caused major ice melting. Water levels will increase and coastal regions will be affected. This will change the map. It will destroy cities, coastal wetlands, salt marshes, and mangrove forests. It will impact almost every ecosystem along the coastline, as well as every continent's coastline. Droughts and floods. The weather and the change in weather patterns have also been affected by global climate change and will have the most visible impact on everyday life throughout the globe. As you can see on the left, the area of cliff recession is how much has been eroded from that cliff that is extremely now narrow. This will change the map. It will destroy cities, coastal wetlands, salt marshes, and mangrove forests. Humans will have to retreat. Homes, businesses, and habitats of animals will be lost. It is estimated that 40% of the human population lives within only 100 kilometers of the coast. Droughts and flooding. As you can see on the far left, the two examples are two extremes of the scale. You have houses underwater and you have lakes that are dried up and are now have desert-like features. An increase in this extreme weather, such as droughts, will dry up rivers and waterways. On the other hand, hurricanes and floods will disrupt current waterways and create new ones. This will recreate how landscape appears, and of maps and rivers and deserts will have to be redrawn. 42% of its severity can be attributed to higher temperatures due to human-related causes, citing greenhouse gas emissions trapping heat into the atmosphere, which is pushing climate change to occur at an increased rate. For the regional landscapes, I chose the regional area being North Carolina, where I currently reside, and I chose to stick with the two main topics of erosions of coastlines and the flooding. For the erosion of coastlines, climate change threatens coastal areas, which are already stressed by the human activity, pollution, invasive species, and storms. Sea levels rise, erode, and inundate coastal ecosystems and eliminate wetlands. Coasts are sensitive to the sea level rise, changes in the frequency and intensity of storms, increase in precipitation, and warmer ocean temperatures, which are all factors of climate change. For floods, there is an increase in rate of climate change, which in turn has an increased rate in rainfall. That increase in rainfall causes flash and mass flooding in North Carolina's landscape. Its environment is not prepared to handle the flooding, may it be the natural landscape or that made by man. The erosion of the coastline, as you can see on the far left, that house is not far off from being fully submerged and its property was destroyed. And on the right side, that graph is discussing the sea level rise on the North Carolina shore in the Wilmington area. Each line is how much the sea level has risen by inches per year. There are the 15% of shorelines in North Carolina are critically eroding. That does not mean only 15% are eroding. Those are the critical erosion areas. Almost every area in North Carolina's shoreline is eroding. Erosion maps indicate that the average annual shoreline change rates ranged from 0 to more than 40 feet per year. The sea level off North Carolina's coast is up to 11 inches higher than it was in the 1950s. This increase is mostly due to the ice melting from climate change, and it causes major issues to the regional landscape. The rate of rise of the sea level has accelerated over the last 10 years, and it is now rising by over 1 inch every 2 years. The flooding. This picture was actually taken about 15 minutes from where I currently reside. And it's a common occurrence, especially in heavy rain. And there is no specific heavy rain season anymore. It just, whenever it rains and it's going to rain, it's going to flood as well. The excessive rainfall over an extended period of time causes a river or stream to exceed its natural capacity. Research shows properties had a higher risk of flooding than projected. In 2016, more than 75% of homes in North Carolina whose owners were located outside of the FEMA-defined flood plans were flooded by the excessive rain. So the modeling that scientists are using to predict where the major floods are going to happen are incorrect due to the unpredictable side effects of climate change. Interstate closures severely impair emergency services response and restrict the movement of essential supplies and services to critical areas. These closures negatively affect the state and regional economy by slowing the movement of tens of millions of dollars in goods and services around, up and along the East Coast. Heavy rain pounded the northwest mountain area of the North Carolinas, and it turns those mountains into treacherous landslides, and communities are swamped, mountains are being eroded. The flooding is causing pooling at the bottom of those mountains, affecting the communities as well as the structural buildup of these mountains. Here are my citations, and thank you for watching.